We begin with breaking news on board Chopper 5 downtown. You are looking at a live picture of crews trying to rescue a man. We'll get that picture back in just a moment. That man is trapped in a trench there.
This is at Cesar Chavez Boulevard and South Alamo Street, near where crews worked on updating sewer and pipelines over the weekend for Hemisphere Park. Crews have been using buckets to scoop out dirt at the bottom of the trench. They have also sent down ropes to the bottom of that collapse.
Our Barry Davis is heading to the scene. As soon as he arrives there, we're going to send this report, live shot, back out to him for the very latest on this rescue.
And we're going to update you, looking live right now at this attempt to rescue a construction worker as a trench collapsed on Cesar Chavez Boulevard. More from this live scene when we come back. Following breaking news from downtown, where a rescue is underway for a man stuck in a cement trench. Our
Barry Davis just got to the scene. He joins us live with the very latest. Barry.
Jeff and Sarah, we're down here at South Alamo and Cesar Chavez. Apparently, they just told us this guy, they're about to bring him out of this trench. They said he was buried at one point, a little more than chest deep in concrete. They're doing some work on the road here and doing some heavy trenching. We're told he was down at about 20 feet below the street, and they were pulling this concrete in on top, and for some reason things caved in. They said he is alert, he's awake and alert, and talking with him. He appears to be okay for the most part. Of course, we don't know what kind of injuries he might have sustained when all of that caved in on top of him. That concrete is amazingly heavy. It's not like the pressure of water gets you when it caves in and it's wet. When it caves in, it puts an extreme amount of weight against your body, and of course the rock and sand, grit, and everything that's with it. His fellow workers at one point were literally taking 5-gallon buckets and scooping this out as quickly as they could because they were worried, obviously, about it completely covering up and smothering him. But again, as we're told, he is awake, he's alert, he's talking with rescuers now. And we were told just a few minutes ago by some of the firemen standing here that they're about to pull him out of this trench, and they're going to bring him literally right here in front of us. So as soon as that happens, we'll stay with us and let you guys know.
So Barry, are you telling us that it sounds like he was trapped in wet cement? Okay, apparently Barry can't hear us, but this is an active rescue underway. A man trapped in a trench there at that construction site at South Alamo and Cesar Chavez.
There had been construction, a project going on that road over the weekend. Cesar Chavez was closed over the weekend and traffic detoured there because of underground pipe and sewer work to complete the overhaul of Hemisphere Park. We don't know whether or not this project is in any way related to what was happening there over the weekend, but it sure would be close at the very least. We're looking at ropes being pulled up right now. We expect this man to come out any minute here, according to Barry's narrative there on scene. The situation just breaking right before the news at 6 o'clock. We first reported it during our 5 o'clock news, and we're watching this situation right here with you on Eyewitness News.
And Barry confirmed to us that the co-workers of the man trapped down in there were lowering buckets, 5-gallon buckets, to remove some of the dirt and some of the cement that was down there to try to give that man, I guess, make it easier for him to breathe down there. He was trapped at least chest high, but he apparently has been talking to his co-workers, so he has been conscious.
Cement, if you've ever tried to put your foot in it in any way, you would know.
Something's coming out.
It looks like right now we've got a bit of equipment coming up.
Right.
We don't know exactly what has been lowered in an attempt to try and rescue this man, but certainly a sizable presence there from San Antonio firefighters and also paramedics. But if you've ever tried to put your feet in cement or you accidentally have stepped in wet cement, you get the smallest indication of what this man might be dealing with down below. Or, for example, if you're down in a sand pile down at the beach, you would know that when wet sand gets on you, it's really hard to get out of a situation like that.
Let's go back out to Barry Davis. He's got another little update for us. Barry.
Jeff and Sarah, they are apparently getting very close to pulling this gentleman up out of this trench. They've moved some fire trucks and various devices around now. They've got a ladder truck here. Firemen are about to move. I think they're going to raise this ladder up over this trench and maybe hoist down some more ropes and riggings to try to pull this man up. I can only assume they're probably going to have him on a backboard when they pull him up out of this brace. That's probably why they're about to hook the ladder from the ladder truck, the fire department ladder truck over this trench. They are scurrying in and out of this ditch. I don't know how much you guys are able to see from Chopper 5, but a lot of movement down here, and a lot of quick movement here lately. Again, to remind you too, they said this guy was down somewhere around 20 feet deep, but we're not really sure at this point.
All right, Barry, and so he said apparently 20 feet deep, and the wall somehow they collapsed on top of that worker.
We probably have somewhere around 100 fire department personnel down here.
There'd be about 2 stories deep for 20 feet deep. You can see a firefighter going down right now. Whenever you get an extrication of this measure, this is very delicate. I mean, sometimes there'll be heavy equipment that's used, but it's precision, the way that firefighters will approach something like this, because one false move, and that's a situation you don't want to be in.
And you can see the ladder that they've put across the opening of that trench, where they are lowering some more cables, and that firefighter went down in there about 20 feet down in that work that they were doing.
I don't know if Chopper 5 can hear us at all. Is it possible in any way to pull out just a little bit broader so we might be able to get advantage of Cesar Chavez and where exactly this might be? If they can hear us at all on board Chopper 5, maybe with the next go-around. Thank you very much. Yeah, even maybe a little bit more if we could. I mean, you can see all the firefighters there. This is certainly a sizable response to this situation. It looks like you can see the edge of hemisphere right there. I guess I took the camera out about as far as we can see without compromising the shot. But this road was closed over the weekend in order for there to be pipe and also sewer work to take place so that Hemisphere could have some of its needed overhauls to get the Hemisphere project well on its way. We believe that this project and this trench collapse is associated with the work from over the weekend, although we do not have that 100% confirmed at this point.
And you can see the number of rescue personnel that are out there working on this situation, trying to get this man out that at last we heard it was conscious, had been talking to his fellow co-workers and firefighters as they try to pull him out of there. You see some of the activity on the street as the firefighters are working quickly. And this is the tactical team that's responding to the situation. They train for these types of scenarios. They train for collapses, for rescues, you know, people who fall over ravines, pulling people out of situations like this.
Barry Davis? Barry has an update for us. Barry, if you would, please, go ahead.
They are bringing this ladder from the one of the fire department ladder trucks directly out over the top of this trench. I would imagine they're going to lower some rigging down, possibly a backboard for this guy. Hopefully they're going to be able to get him out of here. We were told a few minutes ago they were getting real close to bringing this guy up. At one point, he was buried about chest deep in concrete, so we don't really know his condition yet. But as we said a while ago, he is talking with rescuers on the scene now, and they say they're getting awfully close to pulling him up out of this trench. Jeff and Sarah?
Well, as you mentioned, Jeff, you know, getting trapped in cement has got to be a pretty heavy load on your body, so we don't know what his condition is at this point, but at least he is conscious.
Well, at least also you have the best of the best out there, the San Antonio Fire Department tactical team. They train for all kinds of scenarios, and even, I would imagine, situations like this. As hard as the dirt might be here in South Texas, you still get situations where you have collapses. And there are sand collapses that will happen at times where you've ever gone to a beach and you're trying to build a sand castle, you put someone under the sand. Imagine that much heavier from cement, quick drying cement perhaps. And that is the kind of situation that perhaps this man who is in this trench, trapped up to his waist, is dealing with.
You can see the ladder that they're trying to maneuver across the trench, where they're going to be lowering cables and an apparatus, some sort of a cinch to pull that man out of there, to hoist him out of there.
We do know that the worker who's down in this trench is alive and talking. I mean, that's just a great thing right now, obviously, but they seem to have the situation in well control and good control as best as possible.
Yeah, this all started right before 5:30, around 5:25 is when we first got the report that this had happened. And fire rescue crews were headed out there to try to get this man out. And initially, many of his coworkers were sending down 5-gallon buckets trying to pull out some of the and remove some of the cement that had been down there to try to clear some of that space for their coworker who is trapped.
We're bringing you what we know right now. You know, a situation like this, it's a fluid situation. We get pieces of information that come into us here at the Eyewitness News Desk, but we're trying to just give you what we know and dealing with specifics as opposed to rumors, and that's why we're relying on Barry so much to brief us. The pictures also tell you just the drama as to what's going on down there on Cesar Chavez in South Alamo.
Sure.
Barry Davis with an update.
We got a lot of action in and around the trench right now, but still they've got an awful hard job here. They've got to secure all the equipment up here on the top end before they're able to hook this guy to a board or whatever it is they're going to bring him out of. They've got that fire department ladder stretched out over there. They're bringing it back now. I thought maybe they might be lowering some kind of ropes off of that, but they're pulling it back now. I see a number of other guys coming around with some heavy-duty ropes and some riggings. They're securing it to this big tree that's just left of that trench. They told us a little bit ago they were getting awfully close, but I'm sure they're wanting to make sure this guy's medically taken care of in that trench, make sure that he's secured before they're going to bring him up out of there. But I think we're getting
signal there for just a second, but we want to continue to follow this, and right now we want to bring somebody else in on the report with us. We have Christian Bove. He is with the San Antonio Fire Department, the Public Information Officer. Christian, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Tell us, what are we facing? What are you guys facing out there?
Yeah, the initial call came in at about 5:20, so almost an hour ago. It was for a trench rescue. We've got a construction worker in his mid-60s, and he was down along with some other workers in this trench when one of the shoring, the sides of shoring gave way. Currently, he's about waist deep in a mix of cement, some sand, other liquid, and that's where we're at right now, just trying to free him.
What is the procedure that they're going through right there? They're putting the ladder over the trench, and what's going to follow next? What's going to happen next?
You know, we've got about 19 units on scene, including our tech rescue teams, and this is really their specialty. They specialize in not only swiftwater rescue, but trench rescues, high-angle rescues, so they spend the entire year working and training for this type of situation.
We've been told the worker is conscious. He's been talking to some of his colleagues. Is that the same information you're getting as well?
Yes, he's okay. We've actually got some paramedics on scene as well, just checking his vitals, making sure he's okay. The biggest concern is just with the cold weather, wet weather, making sure he doesn't suffer from hypothermia. But yeah, he's been okay. He's conscious and breathing.
What kind of a timeline are you working on? Not only to get him out, but also for his health, maybe to take a shift to a situation or a place where you don't want it to be because of the weight of the cement, but also being out there in the cold?
Well, obviously, anytime you're working in a trench, you want to be very careful because of the shoring. It can go from a bad situation to worse very easily if you're not careful. That's why we've got our tech rescue team on site. They know how to deal with the shoring, what extra shoring needs to take place in order to get this man out safely.
Bill Taylor is telling us here it's 46, 47 degrees in downtown San Antonio. Only going to get colder as the night progresses. So, I mean, you certainly want to get this guy out as quickly as you can.
Definitely, and that's what they're doing, working to do right now. But obviously, you want to do that in a safe manner. You don't want further collapse. So hopefully, they'll be getting him out here fairly shortly.
All right, Christian Bove, thank you very much for that update and that extra information on the man who is trapped there in his mid-60s. We're going to continue to follow this active trench rescue right here on KENS 5 Eyewitness News. So keep it right here. We'll be right back.